I don't even know what I say before I make these videos. I say something really stupid like, I shouldn't even be making this video. That's not how I feel. Here's what I feel like. That's not a true sentiment. I'm just too lazy to make videos. I just don't even want to do it. Don't want to make the video. Don't even want to be here. Yeah, right. You are in a battle, McMahon. Yes, sir. So, there's a word I came across. I've known it for the last 20 years or so, but this word is really, it's in my mind deeply now because I've been reading this word more than usual. And, you know, when you want to brand something, when you want to sell something, the word is so important. I just don't know if I'm going to be able to sell Eudaimonia to you. Eudaimonia. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know if I can sell that word, man. So I'm Jeff McMahon. I suffer from watch addiction. Actually, I have a lot of addictions. I come from family on both sides with addiction, so it's a propensity, an inclination. And I want to talk about my watch addiction in the context of Eudaimonia. What a word, man. I don't know if I can sell it. It sounds like a household cleanser. Eudaimonia. No, it sounds like I'm speaking in tongues. It sounds like I'm giving a curse. I mean, there's some really good names out there. When I was a kid, we had Nerf ball. Did that really sell because you were just, you know, putting a sponge ball in a package, or did it sell because it was called the Nerf? And then there was this plastic ball called a wiffle ball. Did we buy it just because it was this plastic ball with slits in it, or it was called a wiffle ball? And by the way, as a watch guy, I don't know. I'm wearing a Seiko right here, SLA051. I don't know if I would be into Seiko if it wasn't called Seiko. If it was called Eudaimonia, I might not have one Eudaimonia in my collection because the name means what? Like Omega. What a great name for a watch. Omega. The Alpha and the Omega. What? I don't know. So you know, what is Eudaimonia? What is it? Why should you care about it? And what can you do to attain it? I'm telling you, man, I cannot make this video. Today's been, I don't know, I had to, while I was doing yoga, there was a dead bird out in my backyard. I didn't want it to be a dead bird. I was looking at, is that a bird? Or is that just like a piece of clothing? Can I just ignore it? Is that just a rag? Maybe I can ignore it. A little wishful thinking, a little magical thinking. And went out there, you know, interrupted my yoga workout. Yeah, it was a blue jay. Who knows, man? Cat got it, coyote got it. I don't know. Life is inconvenient. Plus, another reason why I can't make this video is yesterday there was like sawdust in my garage from termites. Now I got to get my house tinted. Well, I can't go on. I can't do it. Life is inconvenient. And then you know, that blood pressure. You know what, man? I'm a little bit of a hypochondriac. I shouldn't be so self-centered. Oh, my blood pressure. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see, man. So, anyways, Eudaimonia. It's a word I've known about for a long time, but it's more important to me lately. Let me describe it to you. It's the happiness you get when you're leading a good life, when you have self-mastery, when you're disciplined. And it's not to be confused with the kind of happiness a little kid has when he eats a candy bar. It's not to be confused with the happiness of materialism or instant gratification. And I've been thinking about this a lot more. It's a shame. I mean, I want to sell this to you guys. Eudaimonia. It's probably the most important principle to understand. And what I mean by that is to achieve this kind of happiness, you never are going to have it completely in its absolute form. You're never going to just be able to rest and luxuriate in Eudaimonia. It's a constant battle. what I've learned from reading, you know, the ancients, whether it be Aristotle or the Stoics or Christianity, Judaism, Islam, Buddhism, Stephen Pressfield, who wrote the War of Art, and Phil Stutz, who wrote The Rules, and he's in a documentary called Stutz. What you'll learn about this is this. What you'll learn is that every day you have to accept with heroic gratitude that you are engaged in a daily battle to achieve eudaimonia. And this battle is between your inner enemy. We all have it, and Stutz says you'll never get rid of it. And it's between your inner enemy and your higher self. And the inner enemy is a voice of negativity. It creates a black cloud. And the voice is so negative that you don't even know you're being negative. I mean, geez, man, come on, that's me. I've been negative all my life. I've had friends call me Captain Come Down. Phil Stutz calls this inner voice Part X. Stephen Pressfield calls this voice the resistance. You know, Christianity probably would call it inner depravity or sin. And then you have these different frameworks. You know, people who suffer from addictions, depression, phobias, you know, they go into recovery treatment programs. They learn about this type of stuff. I don't know what kind of framework it's in for them. You know, these frameworks are all a little bit different, but they're all a little bit alike. This framework hit me hard when I read Stephen Pressfield's The War of Art about 3 years ago. It was recommended on a Joe Rogan podcast, and I eventually bought it and read it. It's a great book. And I'll tell you, you know, eudaimonia, gosh, I'm not going to be able to sell that word, man. Why can't it just be called Omega? It'd be easier to say. Phil Stutz just calls them the higher forces or the higher powers. But you know, I wish I could sell this to you. I notice when I'm not engaged in addictive behavior, when I'm disciplined and I have a certain amount of self-mastery, I notice the tone, the vibe is better in my house. My relationship's better with my wife and kids. So I know from experience that Phil Stutz and Stephen Pressfield are onto something with eudaimonia, you know, spiritual happiness, spiritual health, using your time wisely. You know, Phil Stutz says, you want to stop wasting your time? Here's what you're going to do. Always remember, if you're doing something stupid, always remember, someday you're going to be on your deathbed and you're going to be looking back on your life, and you're going to be judging yourself. You know, what were you doing? And I'll tell you what I was doing. I was watching the Watch Degenerate review his latest Seiko MM300, and I rather enjoyed it. Yeah. That's what I was doing. Yeah, he calls it, you know, I guess we could call it the deathbed imperative from Phil Stutz, to try to use our time management. You know what's amazing is I'm kind of naive. I should have known this. I kind of knew it, but with social media, there's a whole optimization industry. There's a whole industry of people helping you optimize and achieve eudaimonia. I mean, on social media, you have influencers, you've got life coaches, you've got nutrition gurus, you've got fitness gurus, bodybuilding gurus, you've got time management gurus. I mean, my God, it's almost like a cult or a substitute for religion. I don't know. And I'm comfortable reading Stephen Pressfield and Phil Stutz to achieve this. You know, they've taught me some things. They've taught me to be a little bit more aware when I'm negative. Now, the negative voice, according to Stutz, is just your default setting to be lazy and fearful. And, you know, so you just persuade yourself that you're going to be a loser. The other thing they teach you is, you know, getting a new watch isn't going to make you happy. What you're really trying to do when you buy a new watch is you're trying to connect with higher powers. what's really going to make you happy is a self-mastery. Well, I don't know. What is self-mastery? It's all relative. I quit eating cereal 4 nights ago. I lost 2 pounds. But will I continue doing this a year from now? Talk to me then. We'll see about that. What I love about Phil Stutz and Stephen Pressfield and this whole notion of eudaimonia, this is interesting. What I love about this idea is that you're looking at life in terms of high stakes. By high stakes, I mean the decisions you make can either lead to a path that's going to strengthen you and give you more possibilities, or a path that's going to shrink you, make you infantile, turn you into a man-child. There's really high stakes in the decisions we make, and that gives us a sense of meaning and purpose. And it fascinates me that if people aren't drawn to religion, then they're looking for frameworks where there are these high stakes, whether it be Phil Stutz or Stephen Pressfield, or whether it be Christianity or Aristotle or a Stoic worldview. It fascinates me that you're looking at this worldview where there's high stakes, where there's either high purpose or where there's just moral disintegration and despair and a life succumbing to addiction. That's awful. That's awful. Now, do I believe in Phil Stutz? Do I really believe it? Do I really believe in what Stephen Pressfield say? Mostly I do. I mean, in life we always have doubts. I want to be honest with you here. I'm going to give you a little confession. When I was younger, I don't think I believed in meaning or purpose. I think I was a disciple of my hero. My hero was a comedian. God, he was a genius. His name was Rodney Dangerfield. A lot of you guys know who I'm talking about. Some of you guys, he might be too old for you. Rodney Dangerfield was a nihilist and a determinist. He didn't believe in high stakes, or you had to make these life choices that determined either self-mastery and eudaimonia or despair over here. God, I loved him though. But Rodney Dangerfield, I'll never forget, he was interviewed in the San Francisco Chronicle when I was in my late teens. I read this interview with him. And I was really impacted by this interview. He says, you know what, man, you don't change. You can't change. You can't change your life. You're born a certain way. The mold is set, and there's really nothing you can do about it. You're never going to change. And that had a big influence on me. I think I was a Rodney Dangerfieldian nihilist. Yes, my fellow Rodney Dangerfield nihilists and I are meeting at the coffee place at 7 p.m. this evening. We're going to go over some of the finer principles of nihilism and determinism. What is nihilism? Well, nihilism is the opposite of eudaimonia. Eudaimonia is that you every day you are grateful for having the struggle against your part X or your resistance, as you can achieve a higher self. You never achieve the absolute higher self, but just going through that battle every day gives you meaning and joy. It's a very heroic philosophy. I like it. I'm kind of drawn to it, frankly. Nihilism means that nothing matters. Nihilism is a song by Queen. Nothing really matters to me. That life is a joke. It's all rigged. The game is rigged, man. Don't do nothing. All you can do is just get over, man. Just stand in line at Cinnabon and get your sugar fix. So, no, I mean, I think I was a nihilist. I wasn't conscious that I was a nihilist, but I think I was a disciple of Rodney Dangerfield. And what else was I a disciple of in college? And the sad music of Morrissey and the Smiths. I don't think that was that uplifting. No, nope. So, do I have doubts about eudaimonia? Because that means I can't sell it with that name, that word, man. I need to call it Omega. But do I have doubts? Yeah, I have doubts. But I mean, I'm going to continue following the principles of Phil Stutz and Stephen Pressfield. I'll tell you why. for my family's sake. I don't think my wife and kids need me walking around like a deterministic Rodney Dangerfield, man. I think based on what I see in this house when I'm following you know, principles of self-mastery and being disciplined and living as if, you know, oh, one of the things I want to share with you before I forget, one of the things that Pressfield and Stutz talk about, and this pertains to my family, is when you engage in this battle every day, you don't just do it for yourself. You do it because it benefits other people. And that's why you want to have integrity in that regard. When you have discipline and you fight your addictions, you are improving yourself, of course, but your relationships with your family and friends are far better. They benefit. Society benefits. I do love that message. I'm sorry, Rodney Dangerfield. I love you, man. I didn't mean to betray you here on national television, but I think I'm leaning toward Phil Stutz and Stephen Pressfield. Ladies and gentlemen, forgive me if I botch the word Eudaimonia, but tell me what you think about this principle, and then go look at the watch degenerate. He used to be called something else. He changed his name. The Seiko MM300. I can't help it. I can't help it. I'm going to go back and I'm going to watch that video, ladies and gentlemen. Until next time, I am out.